lead, but then had a punctured tire, fell a lap behind trying to get his lap back. And as we take a look right now, we've had 5 different leaders, 4 lead changes, 5 cautions, and 2 cars currently officially out of the race. The Visa summary, as you get a look at the average speed, just over 183 miles per hour. Jeff Hammond with about 54 laps to go. We're coming up on pit stops, and this could be critical time here for strategy.
This right here will be the time when the crews are already being told, guys, we got to make one more stop. We come down pit road. First and foremost, drivers don't speed. Pit crews, 5 off, 5 off. Please don't beat us if we've got a chance to win tonight. I'm sure that Michael Waltrip's crew talked to his crew chief, Slugger Labby, earlier, and he said that's one thing about our whole team. It's stepped up here lately. We don't need to let Michael down if we come down pit road, so it's going to be real interesting when it comes time for pit stops.
One of the surprises of the weekend, Dave Blaney, currently running 6th, and let's get a check on his car with Steve Burns.
Chris, they started 30th, having a great run. Ryan Pemberton, pit stop's about to happen. What we do to that 77 car?
We're running pretty good right now. It starts out a little funky there at the beginning of the run. It kind of car dances around, but if he holds it on the bottom, it seems like he can hold his line, keep a lot of momentum off the corner. So towards the end of the long run, I don't think we're going to make any changes here. We're going to have about 50 laps on our tires at the end of the race and hope for the best.
Back upstairs.
Ryan Newman, number 12, battling Dale Earnhardt Jr. for 2nd. The car right behind leader Michael Waltrip is Jeff Gordon trying to get back on the lead lap. There's Waltrip's teammate Earnhardt Jr., the number 8, not able to be of any help to Michael right now, but Michael's going to have to deal with Gordon sooner or later.
Look at the run Dave Blaney in the 77 is getting on the high side. He's got help from Sterling Marlin in the 40 car as well. Almost wanted to slip in there in front of Dale Jarrett, but knew there isn't enough room right there.
I'm going to be a little nervous around that 12 and 77 right now. The 12's a little bit reckless, been moving around a lot, one lane to the other. And then Blaney doing a great job, but has the least amount of experience other than Ryan Newman.
You know, Darrell, just to follow up on Jeff Hammond on the strategy, as he mentioned, we only have one more stop. There's no question we've got about 50 laps on our tires. I'm going to give you 4 tires. This may be the tires that we end on, but I'm also running up down pit road. I don't want to be on pit road by myself because I have to have a drafting partner, but I don't want to be on there with people all around me because then you end up possibly like Todd Bodine and Robbie Gordon. I don't want to be beating and banging. I want clean pit road, clean pit stall to come into.
Yeah, and the big problem is when everybody tries to come in at once, Larry, getting off the racetrack is a big problem.
It can be pretty exciting.
So pit stops will be coming, most likely when we come back. 109 laps complete in Daytona, and the Pepsi 400 on Fox.
The Pepsi 400 on Fox is brought to you by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time.
48 laps to go in the Pepsi 400. It's been 50 laps since the last restart. Jeffrey Bodine and Stacy Compton are the first 2 drivers to come to pit road making green flag pit stops.
And Darrell, I want to follow up on something you talked about, and that's getting on the pit road as we start seeing a lot of cars come to pit road. In this race last year, some top race cars were taken out by beating and banging on each other and wrecking coming to pit road.
Yeah, well, what happens is the guy in front starts, if you got to get your hand up, you got to come off turn 2 over there, and you got to start waving to everybody behind you, tell them, I'm going to pit this time by. You can't come down here and surprise them off turn 4 and try to drive on pit lane.
Who did we see at Talladega? Was it Sterling Marlin? Who cut down at turn 3 instead of getting over at turn 2
and then you got to come down here and you got to lock up the brakes and smoke the tires, and the guy behind you sees the smoke, and then everybody panics. So getting on the pit lane here is going to be real critical. You've been riding around here too with the brakes are all cold. You got to remember to warm those brakes up a little before you come to pit road.
And let's point out, Jeff Gordon is no longer right behind race leader Michael Waltrip. He got shuffled back a bit.
Nobody has taken mercy with him at all. Not at all.
Terry Labonte is in, Jeremy Mayfield, Brett Bodine. Hutch Strickland has made his pit stop, and so has Casey Atwood, who was the fastest qualified Dodge in the field.
Well, when you got Jeff Gordon in the situation he's in right now, a lot of times he's sitting there and you wonder what he's holding. Right now, you know he's not holding anything.
These are all scheduled pit stops, and we pretty much know everybody making stops now, they will be able to go to the end of this race should it go green. And it has a green flag look to it right now.
Yes, it does. The way the ball's spread out here, and let somebody just has a problem, a single car incident. I don't see any big accidents in our near future.
A lot of deal making up and down pit road at this stage in the race. Dave Blaney's team trying to link up with Sterling Marlin to try to pit together.
See what I'm talking about? See that car coming on pit road with all 4 tires locked up?
That's Matt Kenseth, and he's in that very first pit, so he had to get slowed down in a hurry.
Now, if you're coming off of turn 4 and you see that, you're not sure what's happening.
Another thing these guys are trying to make sure, Mike, if you're going to pit with somebody, and I think everybody will change 4 tires, you're trying to make sure somebody you're going to pit with don't change 2 and you change 4, you lose all that ground.
Well, but getting out front all by yourself is no advantage. You're setting up, we saw with Jeff Gordon, got a fast car, but you don't want to get out there all by yourself. They'll just chase you down and pass you. So you got to work with somebody.
Right. Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte, Ricky Craven have been in. Matt Kenseth, Kyle Petty, Elliott Sadler for the Wood Brothers, the winningest team here. And now a big group coming in, including Mike Skinner, Joe Nemechek, Ricky Rudd, Daytona 500 winner Warren Burton, Bobby Hamilton, and Jimmy Johnson. Dick?
Mike Skinner skids to a stop, but he stops exactly perfectly, right where he should stop in his pit stall. He has finished as well as 3rd in this event. That back in 1998. That's going to be a 4-tire stop for Skinner's crew. They got the right side done, rolling around to the left side now. Some of the teams taking longer to put the fuel in. Skinner, gone.
Steve Park is in. Is Sterling Marlin coming, and Blaney coming with him, and
Several guys.
Dale Jarrett leads this group in with Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, and Blaney.
Now, Dale Jarrett, he has to go all the way to the end of pit road. He's in the very last pit before leaving.
Steve Burns.
Dave Blaney has never won a Winston Cup Series race. He had a clear shot in because Tony Stewart had already pitted. There will be no adjustments to this number 77 of Dave Blaney. Left side tires going on the 77 of Blaney. No other adjustments to that race car. Let's go to Matt.
The 88, trouble on the left rear. Dale Jarrett, trouble on the left rear. A slow stop. They made a major wedge adjustment. Jarrett was a little bit tight.
Let's see if Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. come in this time. Jeff Burton locks up the brakes coming to pit road. It is Waltrip, Earnhardt. Brian Newman is in, Mark Martin, and Jeff Burton.
Now, Michael Waltrip's pitting in pit 25 right here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has to go all the way to the end of pit road to pit 3. Dick Burton.
Michael Waltrip, a nice job of bringing the car in. He stopped exactly where he needed to stop, right in front of his crew. That gives them the best possible opportunity for a fast pit stop. 1 round into the left rear. 4 tires. He's going to take 4, and yes, Michael, a nice stop, gone.
A 4-tire change for Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to win back-to-back Pepsi 400s. They made an air pressure adjustment in their right front. They went back to a setting they had earlier in the race. He was loose earlier, but he was recently tight.
Michael Waltrip gets out before Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Burton had trouble leaving his pit. Needed a push from the crew to get the car restarted.
He came in so hot, locked the tires up, was sliding all the way to his pit box, loaded the carburetor up, killed the motor, and couldn't get it cranked back up.
But Darryl, I know we still have a few cars to pit here on the green, but I think there was good planning. We didn't see a bunch of cars at one time on pit road. We didn't see a lot of cars that was in 2 pit boxes beside one another.
Yeah, these guys were spread out pretty good up and down pit road for coming in the way they did. Now you're going to see the difference in pit stop pretty plainly here.
See Mike Skinner in the 4, Ricky Rudd in the 28, Ward Burton in the 22. That group was running in that second pack, 10th to about 12.
And here's Michael and Dale Jr. racing with Sterling.
The battle resumes just about where it left off.
And here comes the 12 and the 2 right behind them. Dale Jarrett's coming right here, and there goes the 6. There goes the 77. So they're just in a few seconds of each other.
We cycle through pit stops, and Michael Waltrip is the leader. Sterling Marlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr. right with him. It's about half a second back to Ryan Newman and Rusty Wallace.
I tell you, Rusty Wallace in that 2 car, he's had a few complaints about his pit crew this year, but he can't complain about them on this pit stop right here. They paid off for it.
No, sir. And, of course, Michael's team did a great job, too. So all those guys did a great job right there in that first 6 cars.
The one car that's missing from this top 5, we heard our guys talk about it. Dale Jarrett had that problem on the left rear. Plus, he's back to 6. I don't like where he's pitting for a green flag stop because you can't get up to speed. You're almost at turn 1.
And you got to go the whole length of the pit road with a lot of eyes on you, Larry.
It's good for caution stops, not good for green stops.
So Dale Jarrett falls to 2.4 seconds off the lead. Mark Martin 3.2 seconds back, and Dave Blaney 3.7 seconds back. So the big gainer in those green flag pit stops was Rusty Wallace, and there's the Billy Wilburn-led crew that pits for Rusty. 120 laps complete. .124 laps complete of the Pepsi 400. 160 make up the race. Michael Waltrip leading Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt Jr. The drivers eligible for the Winston Noble $5 million bonus, led by Mark Martin in 7th, Ricky Rudd in 10th. They're each paired with a fan who could also win $1 million if one of those 5 cars goes to victory lane.
And how these cars qualified, they were the top 5 finishers from Lowe's Motor Speedway back in May. Tony Stewart, 20 car, has more problems on the backstretch. We stayed green so far.
A spin off turn 2 onto that paved apron area, and a lot of smoke from Stewart's car. Caution will come out for the 6th time tonight.
Boy, Tony Stewart's poor old car looks like it's been a demolition derby.
Stewart, who had fought his way up to 5th in the points after being the first car out of the Daytona 500, was involved in the first caution of the night at lap 2, and now he brings out the 6th yellow flag.
I don't know if Gordon is he's not in a position to get a lap back, is he?
No, he lost a lot of ground right before that stop and on the pit stop itself.
Elliott Sadler trying to get a lap back, short by 2 car lengths. The Wood brothers, who lead all car owners with 12 victories in this race. The Pettys have 11, Hendrick Motorsports 7, and Elliott just shy of beating leader Michael Waltrip to the line.
That would have been big for him, because the only 1 lap down, that'd put him back on the lead lap.
See what happened to Tony Stewart.
Oh, he just, thing gets loose on him, starts coming around, and spins it down on the apron. Gets loose. Here she comes. You see all that paved area there, Mike? Larry, that didn't used to be there. It used to be grass. And if that when it was grass, you'd flip over every time you got down in there.
And what we have to remember, all the repairs they've done to that race car, I mean, that can definitely change the handling characteristics, how that car drives.
A long, tough night for Tony Stewart. Michael Waltrip leads as we're under the 6th caution flag of the evening.
The Pepsi 400 on Fox is brought to you by the joy of Pepsi, the choice of victory lane. By Team Monte Carlo, the cars more champions depend on. Chevy, we'll be there. By Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. And by Visa, the official card of NASCAR.
320 of 400 miles complete here at Daytona International Speedway. Now Michael Waltrip came to the line, and Elliott Sadler was not able to get a lap back from Michael Waltrip. And let's listen in on some of the strategy involved here.
Caution's out, caution's out, caution's out. All right, 21 wants a little help. 21 wants a little help, it's up to you. Where's the 24? Where's the 24? Race back. Tell him to race back, Danny. Don't worry about it. Keep taking. Ford's now into 1. Sluggy took the yellow. The Ford took the yellow. 21 wants a little help. It's up to you. Coming hard.